The same one?
It is.
Pay attention.
We're not on there yet, though. He can see us, but
Well, we can't hear it though because it's to do the intro. And I don't think we can hear. We're always trying to do the.
Hello, Bigfoot enthusiasts. Scott here from Blue Mountain Bigfoot Research and Hannah from Squatching with Hannah.
No. Yeah. I'm ending Squatching with Hannah.
Okay.
Hannah from HannahVillette.com. Just, we'll get there eventually.
Yeah. So, how are we doing out there today? Hi, Craig. What we're going to be talking about today is a really interesting thing. We kind of talked about it before a little bit, and we'll be talking about Bigfoot sounds.
But before that, I want everyone in our little universe here to know that this guy here successfully drank all the coffee in the house today. We have nothing left.
Yeah, it's kind of blustery, rainy day here, so what do? You sit home and eat and drink coffee?
We came back from vacation, 2 weeks ago?
Mm-hmm.
And I had 2 pounds of coffee beans at the post office waiting for us. 2 pounds of coffee beans. He has gone through all 2 pounds of them in a week. So if anyone knows of a really, really good coffee roaster in the New England area that I haven't tried yet, please drop the link in the chat because I will send them my money to get us some more coffee beans. Yeah. Cannot find a decent coffee bean in Millinocket to save our lives. No offense to Millinocket, but the coffee is just wanting here.
Yep. Yeah, coming from 2 former baristas in our past life, so...
That would still be the job I would take. If I ever need to actually work for a living again, I will do it as a barista.
Yeah.
Just so you know.
Alrighty, so...
I make one heck of a good macchiato, let me just say that right off the top. Craig does acknowledge that's a disaster. We could order some from Bridgetown.
Oh, really? Where's that at?
It's in Portland, Oregon.
Oh.
Does Portland even exist anymore?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't even want to ask.
No, let's not go there.
So, Hannah's got us some new shirts.
Yes, I'm not wearing mine.
Bigfoot 2020. It says...
We will vote for that.
Make America Believe Again. So, there we go.
Hi, Paula. It's good to be back. Should I show Paula my hair?
Yeah.
You want to see my hair, Paula?
Yeah. So.
I did this. I did a thing. Hold on.
Yeah. She had some bright purple hair, and then she dyed it with this other purple she got from like a store.
Walgreens.
Walgreens. So.
Paula, this is what happened.
It is purple in the sunlight. Is that not?
Okay.
All right. Wow. Is it?
I know. It's only. I got like 4 minutes of snarky humor. That's it.
That was it. It's gonna be a slow night, folks. Okay. So here. So I say we get right into it.
Let's get right into it because I'm out of ideas.
Okay. So.
Okay.
I just got.
All right. So
info.
we've got some guests. I got that much info.
Really? Okay.
All right, I know. I'm supposed to be able to get everyone's stories and all that. So we have got 2 wonderfully amazing... she can hardly hear me. Do I need more of a mic?
Who can hardly hear you?
Paula.
How about now? How about now?
Paula, can you hear us now?
That should have been better. All right, let's introduce our guest.
All right, So our guests are coming at us from Townsend, Vermont, I believe. Or no,
They're shaking their head no's. There they are. Okay.
There's our guests. This is Donna. Please wave, Donna, and Karen. Are you in Massachusetts right now?
We are.
Okay, they're in Massachusetts, but their story comes to us from their home in Vermont.
Correct.
Exactly.
Okay. And that's as intelligent as I get with this. So I'm going to turn this over to the experts, and I'm just going to
first
back
of
off
all,
now.
I need to tell you though, there's a great place in Vermont called Mocha Joe's. They have fantastic coffee. Oh, all different kinds. Ethiopia, all different kinds.
Okay, good. All
Mocha
right.
Joe's. So I know you want
Mocha
some beans.
Joe's. Write that.
Yes.
I'm writing that down. Mocha Joe's.
It's really, really good.
Do they ship in 50-pound bags?
Well, I'm not sure about 50 pounds, but they will ship.
That'd be extra shipping, I think.
Awesome. So she's on her phone looking it up already. So anyway, way louder. Oh, there we go. Boom. All right. So, all right, ladies, I know you can't see the chat unless you guys want to open one of your phones and go to our YouTube channel, and you can probably see the chat. You'll probably see it before we do.
All right.
Okay.
It might take me a while, but I'll get there.
That's all right. So Donna got a hold of me a little while ago, and we were going to set up a Zoom meeting like we are doing right now. Gosh, this echo's killing me in my head. I can't hear myself.
I hate that.
But if I don't have my headphones on, I can't hear them. So I'm hearing myself twice.
Just ignore yourself. I do.
You can do it. Oh, good snarky humor.
I still got it.
Yep.
All right. So she got in touch with me. She was supposed to be on like last week, but I had a little oral surgery thing happening, so I got new pearly whites.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Very good.
So,
Increased his vanity, like.
Are you not really focused on your internet?
yeah.
All that.
Right. So this is what it's called.
Hold on now.
So yeah.
So talk. Okay. So Donna's had a few experiences with Bigfoot over the years, and she said, you said it's somewhere near the Vermont. Was it the
Bennington? Well, that's actually what you're showing right now.
The Bridgewater Triangle.
Bridgewater Triangle, and we actually live. We're sisters, and we live about 2 miles away from each other.
Yep.
And we live actually in the Bridgewater Triangle, and we grew up in Norton. And I bought a house in Vermont, which is 10 miles northeast from my house in Vermont. Is actually the Bennington Triangle, which ironically, interestingly, wasn't planning that, but it just kind of happened. And actually, the author from the Bridgewater Triangle did coin it to be very similar to the Bennington Triangle.
Okay.
Which is where they
So I've always been interested in Bigfoot ever since I was small. Never really did much with it, until internet came out. I bought the house 5 years ago, and my sister and I were sitting out in 2017. Was our first audio.
Yep. The first time we heard it. Yep.
And we weren't thinking Bigfoot. We weren't in a Bigfoot frame of mind. And we're like, that's really strange. I think you first thought.
Yeah, it definitely caught our attention. I thought it sounded like a guy training his dogs.
But this is nighttime.
Dawned on me it was dark. I'm like, okay, no guy's out there training his dog in the middle of the night.
Right.
Didn't make any sense.
Yeah.
So we didn't do any much from that. We just said, well, whatever. We just forgot about it. And then soon after, this was really scary.
This was a scary night.
Yes. We were on the front porch again. I have an A-frame, so we were sitting in the A-frame section. It was dark out, and we were sitting there talking, and we heard, no, we didn't. She was uneasy.
I felt very unsettled. It definitely was something didn't feel right. And it kind of kind of scared me a little bit. I had a little bit of a scare. I thought I saw something dark coming around, but I think that was just a
She was
sign of
uneasy.
my uneasiness.
And then we both saw something. In hindsight, now it went very fast. It was very dark. Moved. How many yards would it be away?
Probably about 25 feet away from where we were sitting.
Between trees, and it was not. There was no foliage at all. You know, so it was definitely dark. But we saw this big dark figure go by, and she said, "What did you say?"
So at first I said, "Did you see?" But I didn't know. Then I didn't want to say anything. I'm like, "Oh no, nothing."
And then I said, "What? And then we just both jumped up, realizing we saw something very scary. We thought it was a demon. We didn't know what it was. Ran in the house, locked the door.
Yeah. And
Once again, we weren't thinking Bigfoot because that wasn't in that kind of frame of mind.
Yeah.
It wasn't until 2018
Mhm.
when
July.
in July,
Yep.
it was the week of July 4th, we heard the audio, which you can play. And it went on for 45 minutes, and it was so crisp, so loud. I mean, across the street from me, which I wrote down so I know, it's the Townsend State Park, which is over 1,200 acres. It has Alder Swamp, it's called. And then we also, to the right of me, has the Townsend Lake Recreation, which is over 1,000 acres. So, and then 9 miles up is the Jamaican State Park. So there's nothing. There's no houses. There's nothing around. I mean, that area where it came from, I don't know who'd be out there, basically. It's all woods and swamp.
And then there's a river. It sounded like
West River.
it was going along the river. This is what we thought originally, because it was like two different sides of the edges. Of
And
the river.
the first half hour, we're trying to figure out what is this? Is it a loon? Is it dogs? Is it a person? Why they do this for 45 minutes or half an hour? And we just couldn't explain it.
And we did notice two different voices.
Yeah, coming back and forth. And
Yeah.
I thought that's why I thought it was a bird. I'm thinking maybe what can go that fast from one area to another would be a bird. But later on, when I was talking to another researcher, he said, no, they're calling each other. And then that makes perfect sense to me. So that point, so we're listening. Then I said, oh, let me record it on my phone. And so I did do that, which you have. And then it got quiet for like 10 minutes. And I started calling making the same noise that it made. And then it was very close. And then we jumped up again, ran the house and locked the door. So, we are not very good researchers, honestly. We're too afraid.
Yeah. So
then I went home
when you started mimicking it, it actually came closer.
Yes.
Very close. It sounded like it was right behind the house.
Wow.
Yes.
That's when we didn't say anything to each other, just stood up, went back in the house and locked the door. Like I was pushing her out of my way to get in faster.
Yeah.
And locked the door behind us.
So.
Oh my gosh. Yeah,
But
you don't have to outrun the Bigfoot, you just have to outrun her, right?
That's pretty much what happened.
Sisters, it's always like that. Pushing you right out of the way.
Gosh. But that's when I really started researching and looking. I'm like, okay, first I wanted to find out what animal could make that noise. I mean, I've heard all animals in the woods, I've been hunting, all that. So
we've always in the woods.
Didn't know what it was. And I looked and researched for a couple weeks. And then I finally found, I can't remember the site I found it in, and it made the exact same noise. And it was a Bigfoot audio. And I'm like, oh, that's it. And then I started calling researchers. Then I started really looking into people that are, southern Vermont and all that stuff, and talking to neighbors. And then we had our last experience about, was it a couple weeks ago?
That
a month ago?
That was the solstice.
The solstice.
Yeah.
We went up to Vermont. We left our families, went up to Vermont again.
And now we're looking, though. Now we're thinking we're thinking about Bigfoot all the time. Right. Trying to find signs. We want to look for footprints. So as we're walking, we're thinking about it.
Yeah.
So as we were walking, we're walking down the old Route 30, which is the old section of road. They've made a new one, but it's a nice walking path right along the river. And we thought we were hearing somebody walking in the woods, like alongside of us, but further in, so we couldn't see them.
And then getting uncomfortable again.
Feeling very uncomfortable. So I said, we'd love to hear you again tonight when we're sitting on the front porch. I hadn't even finished saying that when we heard something low and loud. It sounded so close right behind us. So again, we just didn't say much, held each other's hands, thought maybe we should pray.
Yeah. And then
started walking very quickly out of the woods.
Oh, wow.
And that was around 11 in the morning.
Yeah. Yeah, that was daylight.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
And I said thank you. After I heard the noise, I said thank you, but we'd really rather
we did hear footsteps too. We did hear something.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The twigs were snapping, like someone was walking alongside us.
Oh, so did it sound like it was bipedal? Like we were hearing crunch, crunch,
Yeah.
crunch,
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
not
Yep.
crunch, 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 crunch,
Right.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
That was our
And you
thing right there.
said you'd love to hear it again. And you heard a little rumble. Was it similar to what you recorded, or was it totally different?
Well, it's funny because my sister heard like what we record, that low ooh, like ooh.
Yeah, I was like, ooh.
But I heard more of like a growl kind of. So
more guttural to you, yeah.
so
It sounds
it's,
so guttural to
we
me,
heard
but-
the same thing, but kind of a little differently, which makes no sense. But
Well,
then again, I mean, it's all perspective, I guess.
Yeah, well, do you know, this is kind of interesting. I was talking with Ron Moorhead, who is one of the most famous Bigfoot sound recording guys in the history, doing this. He picked up a lot of sounds like back in the 70s that he recorded.
the name before.
And we were talking about this, and he said that Bigfoot has, like, we have a 3-octave range in human vocal cords. Bigfoot's octave range, from what they recorded and analyzed, has 5 octaves.
Oh,
Yeah.
So they can make sounds that we can't make, and some sounds that we can't even hear. So if you've got different hearing pitches in your ears, you may hear something different than
well, that
what
makes
she
perfect
heard,
sense. Yes.
because it's in several octaves, not just the 3 that we're used to.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, so I'm gonna see if I can play some of these sounds, and
Okay.
I
Go
don't
and
know.
cross your fingers.
Yeah, cross your fingers. So here we go. It's really faint, but oh.
Hi, Linda. We're working on the audio. I hear nothing.
It's just popping up and going away. Oh no.
It doesn't hear.
I know.
He's still talking.
That's how far back. But then again, I also keep.
Did you hear that? I can hear it.
Barely.
Yeah, it's really low.
We're going to try to enhance that audio. Things are a little weird right now.
All right, hold on a sec. Okay, be quiet. So I think if I turn this up. Ah. Nope. Okay. Erg. I hate technology.
Why don't you play it off your phone into the microphone?
Okay.
I tell you what we can do is, let's go back here.
Hi, we have a super chatter on the line here.
Yeah. Thank you,
Dustin.
Dustin.
It's our son who has just made a donation because we're so
Okay.
pathetic.
Yeah. So, all right.
You're cracking me up, son.
I'm sitting here by myself, so you know.
Okay, come.
So for your massive donation, you get to say something on the chat. Please keep it clean and appropriate.
And I don't know what's happened there.
We are working, trying to get that audio for you, Linda, and everyone else.
Uh-huh.
See the video? Press on that so you can see people talking.
No, this is playing.
I know, but you can see people chatting if you click on it. You have enough to see that. Yeah. Going to see. Oops. So let's hear about it. Okay.
That's what that was about.
So while we're waiting for audio, let me see if I can think of something funny to make some fun of. right now. Oh, Paula said she could hear it. Dustin said they could hear it. I can't hear it.
Oh.
I've heard that before, says Craig.
Yeah, Craig's heard it before, I guess, so he must be hearing something.
Yeah, I'm looping it right now. I can barely hear it, but it must be broadcasting louder.
Creepy.
Paula says creepy.
Yeah, so she's here.
It's creepy. We know they're hearing it.
Yes, definitely. We can hear it.
And it went on for, like I said, 45 minutes.
All right.
Dustin is our local man in the woods. Have you heard that before, Dustin?
Almost sounds like an owl.
Of course they would say that.
It
Almost
def-
is the key word
Almost.
there.
It was way too loud to be an owl. It was so crisp and clear and loud.
It's like an M. Night Shyamalan owl
Right.
from a creepy, weird movie, like an owl from the village.
Yeah.
Best movie ever made.
Well, I'm glad we got that broadcast.
I wish I could have heard
okay. Now that sound, actually, she has 4 that she sent me, and what I did was I took those. I did the. I have a thing that eliminates the background noise from like the wind and the air and whatever, and then I enhanced it. I think I bumped the volume like
Something happened to our stream.
800.
Okay. We're back.
Like, yeah, I enhanced the volume 800 times. So, because this was recorded on a phone from a long ways away, and phones don't have the greatest microphones for picking up stuff in the woods. So, after I did all that, I got to be able to listen to it really carefully with my headphones on. I'm not sure if it's broadcasting here on this, like what I've heard it. I'm going to send it back to you ladies so you can hear the enhanced versions of them when we're done here. But I have heard almost similar sound myself, and I've heard other recordings from other researchers that is very similar to that. And I've compared it. Well, I haven't had time to compare this one, but I have listened to different owl sounds. And
remember that owl that lived outside of our big house?
Yeah.
In the pine tree?
Right, and it's not even come close. Do they have wolves in Vermont?
No. Not
Yeah.
that I know of anyway, no.
Okay. It doesn't sound like wolfy either, though. So where we're from in Oregon, we do have wolves. I've caught several on camera and recordings at night, but they do not sound anywhere like
They
that.
don't sound. That doesn't sound like a moose that's really angry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I come across an angry moose, and that's not a pretty thing.
No.
No, they're big animals.
They are. We had one run in front of us, and we
Just about took out our truck.
Yeah, just about hit it, and it went off into the ditch. And then I thought it was going to run off in the woods. It stopped and turned around and walked back towards my truck, like, "All right,
Wow.
come on." And I'm like,
Yeah.
"No thanks."
Got a little metal.
Yeah. So that's
Paula wants to know if it kept on the same sound.
Pretty much the same tone, the same sound. Like I said, what I have to say, but across the street, there's nothing. Like I said, there's nothing at all. So to hear it so loud, I mean, I was amazed that the neighbor next to me and both sides didn't turn the lights on, like come out and listen. I've even asked, we went to an antique shop right down the road, and I asked him, I said, "Do you hear those noises last night?" Because it's nothing I've ever heard. And it was so, even though it doesn't sound loud from what I taped, it was very loud. And there's no way it could be an animal because it was just so loud.
Well, and it sounded like two that were talking to each other. There's
Calling
like
back and
one
forth.
way off to the west
Right.
and one way off to the east.
We've heard about that happening before.
yeah, exactly. It's like a locator call where they can locate each other. And like you
Yes.
said, when you started mimicking them and they started getting closer, you were probably
Right.
doing a locator call, hey, and say, "Hey, we're over here." And he's
Right.
like, well, I know that person over there, but I don't know you guys. I'm going to come check you out.
Right.
Or we're going to triangulate and
Yeah.
surround you.
That's why we went in the house and locked the door.
Right.
Yeah. So, not to scare you, but an 8-foot tall gorilla, a locked door isn't going to slow it down very much.
Well, it's like at night when you think you hear a ghost and you go under the blankets.
Yeah.
You know, you're gonna stay under there.
It protects you.
Yeah.
Somehow
Keep a big
protected.
jar of Nutella with you. Just leave that
On the front
and
porch.
run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or a
Yeah.
small child
Craig's-
throw the no,
Yeah.
no kidding.
Craig says when he heard it, it also made some of those taunting sounds that were on the Sierra
sounds. Oh.
Do you have the Sierra
I
sounds on
do
your
have
phone?
the Sierra sounds on my
The
phone.
Sierra sounds. Here we go. Are you just going to put that into the mic?
Yeah.
All right. So he's going to hold his phone up to the mic. We're going to hope for the best.
I don't think I will hear it because I didn't hear the one
He's
before,
gonna
but
hold he said it's
Oh,
gonna
You'll
okay.
probably hear this. Okay. That was playing through my computer, not through the mic. So,
Right.
let me look and see here. Give me a second to find it. So, which Sierra sounds are you talking about, Craig? The whoops, the howls?
Probably the taunting sounds. What are the taunting sounds?
There's a slap sequence, grunts,
What's the matter, your mother won't let you?
aggressive whistle, rapid chatter. That's not that one. It might be this one.
oh,
That's creepy.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's
So
really
they
creepy.
heard that.
Yeah, we heard that.
yes, we did.
I wonder if this one. Oh no, that's not that. Okay.
They want to have some brownies.
So I know what I was thinking of. In the That's the chatter. But in the big, if you go back onto our channel,
Hold on.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just like that.
Yeah.
That sounds
there you
exactly
go,
like
just
it.
like that.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we heard.
Yep.
Yep.
So on our channel, we have one of his Footprint Friday episodes is called Bigfoot 911. That guy by Detroit Lake was talking about how he could hear it surrounding him, and they were calling back and forth and getting closer and closer.
Mm.
And that's when he called us like 400 miles away. Can you come help me?
Yeah. Well, not quickly, but
Hello,
yes, I can help you.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
No, that definitely sounded a lot like it.
Did it that long howl?
and
Yeah.
now
Yeah.
you know it's better to play it off your phone into the microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that gives me an idea. Okay. So that wasn't your only encounter, was it? You said you had the visual and the
Yep.
sounds. Was there another one?
Well, we had the first audio, and then we had a visual, which we weren't realizing, what it was at the time.
Mhm.
In
Then-
retrospect, yeah.
Then the one you just played, that's when we realized what it was. And then a month ago is when we heard another, when we were walking at 11 o'clock down the Townsend
old Route 30.
Lake, Route
Yeah.
30.
Yeah.
And that's when we heard it again, right behind us, because we heard footprints and we knew something was following us, and we felt uneasy. And then we heard, which I heard something different. I heard a guttural, like, "Arr, arr," and she heard more the whoo.
Oh,
Kind of a
really?
noise.
Okay. Yeah.
I couldn't remember if that was something we told them before.
We did.
What's that?
I didn't remember if we had already told that story.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
I couldn't remember.
Okay. So what were the dates on these again?
2017 is when we had our first audio, right? Audible.
Yeah, it was audible.
Audible, and then soon after that we had the visual, and then 2018 is when I recorded that, what I sent to you, and the last encounter was about a month ago, the solstice.
That was June.
Oh, okay. This June.
This
This
past
past
June.
June.
Wow.
So 2 months ago,
Yes.
3
Cool.
months ago, whatever.
Yeah.
It's time is marching
I'm
on.
losing track of time.
Right,
Yes.
August, September, yeah.
Time is meaningless this year.
Yeah, this year, just the whole year.
So while he's getting something up on his phone, he just had a great idea on how to play those sounds better. I saw a funny meme. If 2020 was a beverage, it would be colonoscopy prep.
Yes.
And I replied to that and I said, well, you do know what happens after the prep, don't you? Let's hope this is after the prep. And now we've just got recovery in front of us. All right, he's working on downloading the sounds to his phone to play through the microphone rather than through the system.
There we go.
He's getting there. So as we're moving into the holiday season, please know that we will accept gifts of dark roast coffee beans from anyone. We will do a video review of any coffee that is sent to us. It's true. And I know burned beans, and Starbucks does not burn their beans. It's true. It's so true. I have ordered coffee beans from about 4 different independent roasters from New England, and they all come burned because they're all dried out. You can tell if they're burned because all the oil's gone. So I'm sorry. So far, Starbucks is winning this contest.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Let's see if this works. Oh, wrong one. Could you guys hear
It's
that?
soft.
No?
It's
Yep.
faint.
I can hear it.
You can hear it.
Well, it's probably the best I got. So,
Yep. It was a lot better before. We couldn't
Yeah.
hear it at all. So
yeah.
So Craig says he's never heard that long yell.
Never heard what?
The long yell. I'm not quite sure where the discussion's going, whether they're talking at us or talking at each other. I think it's confusing.
right.
It was pretty much the same call over and over again, like calling back and forth.
Yeah.
Mhm.
At one point, there was a longer one where I thought like I said, I thought it was dogs, but it was at nighttime. It was very dark. And there's no way there'd be hunters out there at that time with
And then
dogs.
when you really heard it, it really wasn't a dog.
But then when it got really close, that's when we were afraid.
When we were walking, we didn't actually see it. We just heard it walking along beside us. Somebody had asked a question, Paula. We didn't see it when we walked. We just heard it, and then I spoke to it and asked if we could please hear it tonight, and that's when it made the sound right behind us and scared us again.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Katie, I got your message. Now I got people
talk about
private
sorry.
messaging me while
Oh,
we're
great. Here, give me your phone.
No.
But when we saw it, actually, I can talk a little more about that, is the time that we visualized what was going on. Once again, we didn't know. We weren't anticipating a Bigfoot. We weren't in that frame of mind at that point. But what we saw, it must have been 8 feet tall. It was always a dark silhouette because it was very dark out. And it went from one tree to another up to the mountain's right above me, so it went like up the mountain. We didn't hear anything though. We didn't hear footprints, but we weren't trying to listen for footprints. But we both saw it move very, very quickly. And then the next day when we looked at the tree, where we saw it from tree to tree, it was at least 8 feet, if not more, from what we saw. And it almost like it glided. It definitely wasn't like you see a person walking. It was so quickly, it was just kind of gliding by.
And it's very smooth.
But
I mean, it was
yeah, very smooth. Yeah, it was very dark. It was just a silhouette.
And it was very fast, though. I
And
think
very
that's why
fast.
maybe it seemed so fluid.
Wow, that's really interesting because the way Bigfoot walks is they don't walk like we do. They have a whole different bone structure. They're the distance between their knee and their hip and their knee and their ankle are different than ours. And their foot bends in the middle when they walk because they don't have an arch in their foot. If we didn't have an arch, ours would bend in the middle too. So a lot of people, when they see Bigfoot walking, they say it's gliding. It looks like it's floating. And that's where they get some of the ideas like, oh, it might be an alien or a ghost or a spirit or something.
Well, we thought it was a demon. We thought
it was a demon. That you said that.
We saged everything.
We saged the whole house.
I like these people.
Oh, that's awesome. But that's something that that's common in reports is when people see them walking, they glide because they don't bounce, because they don't ever lock their knee and vault over their hip. They don't have to because their foot bends in the middle and they just kind of have this bicycle-like walking gait. And if you're 8 foot tall and you have a 6 foot stride, it doesn't take you many steps to go a long way, so they're fast.
It was fast, yeah.
So that's a very credible description of what we hear a lot from credible reports, that we see them gliding. And that's one of the things as a researcher that we listen for and look for in reports is commonalities. And that was one of those commonalities. So
and that's something I wouldn't have even guessed. I would have expected that.
Right.
I would have thought that was something that didn't fit the picture. So it's interesting.
And it was a silhouette too, so it wasn't like we could see anything at all because it was dark. You know, I mean, the moon was out and stuff, but it was just a silhouette. And it was so fast and scary. So.
Wow. Yeah.
So Craig, first of all, says Bridgetown Coffee has won an award for the best in the nation. I'll be sure to look them up.
Okay.
I'm just afraid, really, for any business coming out of Portland right now, they might not be standing. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, and then he mentions that he's never heard the long howl they always did on Finding Bigfoot, and I'm wondering if that was even an authentic howl or if that was a person howling.
Oh, like the one Bobo does all the time?
That's what you did. You did.
Oh yeah. No, I mean, no. He did the whole whoa, whatever that. I used to watch his show.
Yeah.
No, it was definitely like I'll have to do it. I'm gonna embarrass myself, but it was like a woo, kind of like like that.
Yeah, that's what.
But different tones and different, but that's pretty much how it sounded.
Based on the sound samples you sent us, I'm thinking that the whoops we do as humans they're tonally backwards. Because when people whoop, they start low and go high. Whoop. But what you sent us was this ooh. It started high and went low.
Yep.
And that's what we heard too when we were on the trail. It was right behind us. It was like a high to low. Ooh. Yeah.
Let's see. I've got some recorded whoops from. I think this was in California. But,
these are actual creature whoops, not people whoops, right?
Yeah, these are actual creatures. Okay, and there's some tree knocks involved in this too, so you'll have to.
And you'll have to forgive the rain in the background because it's pouring down rain outside.
Those are creatures, isn't it? Yeah, no.
It's like the opposite of that.
Well, maybe it's like a regional dialect.
Yeah.
You got the New England Bigfoot dialect and the West Coast Bigfoot dialect.
Yes. Yeah, we got all the R's at the end.
Yeah. No R's.
Yeah. So that's why
unless you're seeing the word saw and then you put an R on it.
Star.
Right.
Exactly.
Soda or pizza.
Soda or pizza.
They whoop funny over here.
Yeah, they do.
You need a translator.
Yeah. It's just like the guy we're working for here at the campground. He's from Connecticut. I can't remember exactly, but he can't say Hannah. He says Hanner.
Yeah.
Hannah.
Sounds like my father. My dad was from the Bronx, so I grew up listening
Hearing
to that.
that.
But anyway, Dustin wants to know if it sounded like it was jogging behind you.
No.
No, it was like in the woods, like off to the side. It just felt like, I think it was like trailing us, just watching us. Like, because we were walking slow, well, you know, like humans walk along the trail. And I think it was like off to the side, it was just kind of keeping tabs on us.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it definitely wasn't jogging or running. It was more of a crunch. Every once in a while you hear a crunch.
Yeah.
Okay, so was it behind you, beside
Yes.
you, kind of?
Yes, to
Oh,
our left.
Yeah, to
It
the
was-
side, not behind. Yeah.
But behind us, I think, a little bit.
Oh, maybe a little bit
Yeah.
behind us, but to the side.
But to the side, yes.
So being tailed.
Or ghosted,
Yes.
Or
basically.
ghosted.
So it's like following you.
We've had that happen to us.
Yeah, we've had that happen
We were in
to us.
Montana.
Mm-hmm.
We had something that was probably, maybe 1,000, 1,500 yards away. And every now and again, it's like, and it ghosted along with us for probably a mile. And
Oh, yeah.
You saw it once
So, yeah,
in
I
Montana.
got a glimpse.
Yeah, you know that corner of your eye
Right.
glimpse.
Yeah.
Right. Well, you're brave.
You think it was a shadow person, but shadow people don't crunch.
Yeah.
No.
Right, no.
And we
Yeah.
were jogging towards that at the end. We were jogging very fastly.
After I
Holly, you're
said thank you,
cracking
but I
me
don't want to
up.
hear it again.
Yeah, in fact, my son Dustin and we got ghosted once
A bear.
by a bear. I'm pretty sure it was. But yeah, it was right up a hill, just out of sight, right behind us, and it was walking right parallel with it. If we stopped, it stopped. If we went, it went.
Yep.
So spooky.
Yeah.
Right,
It was.
We've got 18 minutes to entertain our adoring fans. Paula, you know I would do that. I would so try talk. I would be the chat
say?
a freaking box, and
You try to
Scott would be there going.
Do it again and make it a friend.
Yeah. No.
So
It
Paula
does
says
creep us.
you could try talking to it again and make friends, which I totally would. And I'd
I
be
was-
throwing
that's why I
all
was
the
trying to think.
food
That's
out
why I was-
there and
I was asking
probably
nicely if
going
you could hear
here. Come here, because I just know me.
Well, I thought about leaving, you know how they say leave things out there, but a lot of people say don't do that because you don't want to attract them and keep them there. If you don't leave out gifts, they get angry. I mean, so I don't know if I want to leave things out for it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know about that gifting thing. I've heard a lot of mixed things about it myself. I know there's a few people out here who's done it for a long time, and like
Yep.
one guy said, it took like 5 years before they started actually taking the gifts that he left, before they trusted him enough. Kind of like that Diane Fossey.
I don't know if you can see this. Whoops,
movement
where is
over-
it?
over there.
Oh, wait.
Oh, there you go.
That's
Oh,
look
okay.
at that's my house right there, Vermont, and I have a Bigfoot I put up there after the whole incident. I had it made. Can you see it?
Yeah. So you're advertising for them
I
to
guess.
show up.
Triangulating the position.
Yeah.
You already sit there and tell.
Yep.
But one of the interesting things I've heard about giving gifts and things like that is a lot of people will put like 3 or 4 like marbles out on a log somewhere, and you'll come back and you'll find them rearranged,
Mhm.
not taken, not knocked off, but literally rearranged. And there's this thought that Bigfoot's really OCD, so he puts everything in threes. Like if you put 9 marbles out there, there'll be 3 stacks of 3s.
This 3 is a magic number.
Right.
Yeah, so you can give it a try.
I could try that.
Yeah,
I did- the last
do
time I was up there, I
marbles
did
and
put-
toys and stuff like that, but I don't know about
Yeah.
food because then you start
animals.
Bears.
Yeah.
Then they're like Yogi Bear and they just expect food, and when they don't get it,
Right.
they come after
Right.
your
Picnic
basket.
Exactly. Yeah.
I'm still hanging on to the idea that jalapeno poppers will draw them out.
Ooh, that'd draw
From
me
making
out.
baskets. It's true.
I did put a tennis ball up there last weekend when I was up in Vermont, and it was knocked off, but we have a lot of chipmunks. So I'm not thinking it was Bigfoot. I'm thinking it was a chipmunk that kind of wanted to look around and see what it was.
Yeah.
But I will try the marble, so.
Greg says when he heard Bigfoot, he says, I've heard that word so many times. The first time I heard it attributed to Bigfoot, my knees buckled. I believe we need to get Craig on here live.
Yeah, we do.
Craig, you're our next guest, dude. I'm serious. His story is something else, and he's got several of them.
Yeah.
I would love to hear him.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, good. That's a good segue to in what we're trying to do here. Yay!
Yes.
Yes,
I did that
exactly.
on accident. I am so brilliant.
I know.
I deserve a free bag of coffee from someone.
Yeah.
He's gonna have to drink Earl Grey tea in the morning,
I know.
Oh,
Ooh.
which is not bad.
It's not horrible. Yeah.
No.
All right, segue.
Segue. So, yeah, we're coming down the last 15 minutes or so here. I just want to put out there for everybody who's watching this and anyone who watches this in the future, if you happen to stumble upon this and get this far into the video, we are rebranding again. Well, not again, but
We are rebranding
branding.
eventually. We're working on the rebranding process.
Right.
And just so everyone knows, this will happen now because we are leaving Maine at the end of September. So we can get back on the road, get back to full-time Bigfooting.
Yes.
No more building.
We're being stuck in a campground
Being stuck in a
all
campground
summer.
all summer, buildings. And no offense to anyone, but this is not quite how we plan to spend our summer.
I think a lot of people never plan to spend their summer the way they spent
That's
their summer.
very true. So we are becoming
Yes.
Squatch America.
Yeah.
Big
All
shout
right.
out to our graphic design artist, Michelle Gregoire of Ripple Designs. You can find her shop on Etsy.
Plug.
We're plugging her.
But yeah, so we are planning on leaving here. We're going to actually go through Vermont.
Ooh, we'll have to stop at Mocha Joe's.
We passed.
We went to Aroma Joe's. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like the New England version of Dutch Bros.
Yeah.
But yes, so Squatch America is all about getting stories from people like Donna and Karen who've
She
had
had the
real life.
notes.
Yes, because I have notes. But it's getting real stories from real people and putting them out there to be heard and not well, how do I say this nicely? Not ruined through the process of commercial TV. How about that?
Yeah.
Right. Definitely.
Because, yeah. And we want to put stories out there. And so, based on their story, if we're talking about learning habits of Bigfoot, what does that tell us about possible habits of Bigfoot?
migration,
About their
maybe.
behavior.
I know.
Yeah, I've been on that migration thing for a long time.
Yeah.
I'm
Not even Dr. Meldrum had thought about migration.
I don't know. But anyway, what kind of got me into the whole migration thought was I spent the last 5 years in Oregon in the Blue Mountains and getting people to give me stories like you ladies. I got dates and times and a big map, and I put pins in them, and I started to work out patterns. They're here this time of year, they're here this time of year, just from reports. And what we want to do is, once we get stories like from you, we're going to have a nationwide map that we're going to start putting pins and dates and times in, and see if we can work out the similar migration patterns or travel patterns, or if they're following food, or if they go into warmer climates. All this is speculation, so we don't know yet. So by collecting all these stories and putting them together, we can work out almost a lifestyle of Bigfoot. So that's where we're
It's like you're
headed.
like a dolphin when you put a little radio on them.
Exactly.
Like shark or dolphin, yeah.
Yeah. Or
Get their
like
migration.
in Oregon when they put the collars on the wolves and they can
Yep.
figure out where they go. And
Yep. Do you happen to give any credibility to like the interdimensional
Yeah. I think that,
theories for Bigfoot? I mean, just curious. I mean, I know I've heard stuff like that.
Well, yeah, I hear this all the time and stuff like this, and my point of view on that is, I'm a very scientific kind of guy. You know,
Yeah.
I've studied anthropology. I'm an anthropologist, and human history was kind of my thing. But I don't discount it.
Yep.
What I do is I won't jump on the bandwagon and say, yeah, they're interdimensional being because I have no proof of that.
Right.
But I'm not going to discount that theory because I don't have any proof of that. You know what I'm saying? So I keep the avenue open, but I'm not jumping on the bandwagon yet.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. Oh,
Okay.
absolutely.
Does it make sense?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Also, I've also heard people talk about the tunnel system. This tunnel system's out in California, and that they think they might travel along those. I don't know if you'd heard that before. Yeah, I don't.
That's like,
It's one
I
of
don't
these
know
things,
if I've heard the tunnel system.
Well, I think I heard it on Ancient Aliens.
Of course, I watched that.
Yeah. Oh, I love that show. So yeah, that's where I heard them talking about like all these old tunnels. They don't know how old they are. They don't know how long they've been there. And it seemed credible that they could be there because they're hard to access. Sometimes they're so deep, and that they could actually travel through those. And that's why, like you say, you see them popping up here and then somewhere else.
Oh,
and why
absolutely.
You can't see them all the time because they can hide in there.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Like where we were doing our research in the Blue Mountains of Oregon, just in our little area in our county, there was 150 gold mines.
Right. Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
And most of them are abandoned, so they were probably using those for shelter or travel.
Right.
Depending on how far they went. Absolutely, the tunnel thing, and I have watched Ancient Aliens.
Because aliens.
Because aliens. It's a big universe. So,
oh yeah. Well, absolutely. I think you're kind of silly if you don't think there's other life out there somewhere. I don't know, what they're doing with themselves, but there's so many planets, so many stars. There has to be something somewhere.
Yeah. Okay. As a side note, getting off the Bigfoot. If you're here for Bigfoot, click off now. But I'm going to tell you a little story. I was working with the college, and we were in an archaeological dig in Central California on a Native American tribe. Native American culture is what my degree is in. So we were doing this dig, and the head of the dig, the professor, took us to this other area that was a little ways away from where we were digging, and where he had found some petroglyphs and pictographs carved in rock carvings. And I was sitting there looking at these, and that's kind of my thing. That's what I was really interested in. I've studied a lot of how to decipher pictographs and petroglyphs and what they mean and all that stuff. But there was one on this rock where they carved out a chair, and they had this table in front of them, basically at an angle.
Okay.
And it looks like they carved in dials and gauges and buttons. And
that didn't exist back then?
This is 500 years ago.
Right.
They made a control panel. I'm like,
yeah.
Yeah.
What is that?
Yeah. Why did they even think to do that? What were they trying to make a picture of?
Yeah.
Yeah. What did they see?
Just go back and watch Stargate. I
Yes.
totally believe that, by the way. Stargate
Yeah.
probably.
No, absolutely.
And then,
Not
Yep.
the series. The TV series was done, but the original. The original
but
James Spader movie.
yeah. But
I'll check
also
it
in
out.
that same area, they had this like amphitheater that they had
Mhm.
built. Basically, it was an amphitheater. There's a little pond, a little bank where you can sit, and
Mhm.
this kind of hollowed out rock carving to make a little dome. And
Okay.
it had
A half
petroglyphs
shell.
and had pictographs all inside it.
Mhm.
Actually, petroglyphs. They were carved.
Okay.
And then it had two columns that went up both sides of it, and it had this spiral with this triangle on top of it. And my
Oh,
professor kept saying, "Oh, that's a snake symbol." I'm like,
Right.
"That's smoke," you know, and
DNA.
a spiral going up with this triangle at the top, you know.
Yeah.
So, and that was right, just 50 feet from the control panel. So,
Yeah. Yeah. They saw
so,
something.
so when I started watching Ancient Aliens, I always thought back to that, and I'm like,
Yep.
I happen to see a 500-year-old control panel
Yeah.
from some Native Americans in Central California. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's a good
There-
story.
Yeah. There's
Well,
so
we got
much.
4 minutes.
What? Oh my
4
gosh.
minutes. The
We
microwave
got us on
clock
it.
is completely wrong.
Okay, that's why I keep looking over at the microwave. Well, ladies, thank you. And thank you
Thank
for your
you.
story. Thank you for
Thank
being
you for
with
having
us.
us.
I'm glad we're kind of working this technology out. Hopefully, I can learn how to play things around there soon someday.
You know, we have the same issues when we have our daily Zoom meetings with music being played through the system.
Yeah, okay.
So it
All
just doesn't work too well.
It's something. It's a thing.
Zoom, yeah,
Yeah.
not our favorite thing.
Well, thank you so much.
Well,
I
thank
will
you.
send you
Bye,
those
everybody.
recordings.
Okay, thank
and
you.
then, like I said, we're probably going to be crawling through New Vermont somewhere in the beginning of October. So I might.
Okay, just
text
let me know.
you.
Text me. Let me know.
Yeah, maybe we can go out in the woods and chase us down a Bigfoot.
Yes, we'll get the RV going. We'll go up the mountain.
Okay, good.
All right, thank
All
you.
right.
Thank you.
All right.
As
Bye bye.
always,
Bye, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for watching and for being so gracious with our technology and our snarky and highly unprepared sense of humor. And again, if you have a coffee roast you want me to try, just send it our way. I will give you our address. I'm trying to get us some free coffee. There's got to be a coffee roaster out there that'll sponsor us. We will plug you for free if you send us coffee.
Yeah.
So
if you know a coffee roaster, give them my card. Okay.
yeah. And with that,
remember, our job is to investigate the unexplained, not to explain the uninvestigated.
So everyone, please keep it squatchy and
go out and find Bigfoot.
bye.
Bye.